Talking about somebody who is clearly having a relationship with this person.
Come on, that's a pretty thin thread. Clearly having a relationship. Honey, I mean, that's your speculation.
Absolutely not. This is someone who was calling the victim equal number of times that he called her.
And then Prosecutor Rifkin went a step further. She discovered, she said, that Cindy got pregnant after her husband was killed. Miscarried at 3 weeks. And who did she text from the hospital?
The person that she texted from the hospital a little after 6 o'clock in the morning was the victim.
It was clear what the prosecutor was implying, that Nissim might have been the father. Cindy seemed stunned by the whole idea.
That blew my mind. How do they come and can assert that I was pregnant by this man? It was just disgusting.
And simply untrue, said defense co-counsel Bruce Fleischer.
For them to suggest that she was pregnant from Nissim was ludicrous.
In fact, said the defense, the state's whole case was ludicrous. This was clearly an act of self-defense. Just listen to Cindy's sister describe the time she saw Nissim talking to Cindy right after her husband was murdered. You understand why she was so afraid.
Then the next thing I see is him lifting up his shirt, and he had a gun. I saw my sister looking a little frightened about it.
One of the detectives had told her this person has a long rap sheet and that she should arm herself.
And after Cindy shot Nissim, her sister said she saw proof that Cindy had been attacked.
She had a bruises on her arm. She had like,
so how do you add a soundtrack to that?
And that shot him in the back thing, the defense called a medical expert of its own, who said the first bullet was in Nissim's side when he turned his body as if to reach for a gun.
Within a fraction of the second,
Remember?
he
You remember to do
fall
that?
forward, and during that period of time, he gets all the rest of gunshot wounds.
The defense wanted to ask the lead detective, Diana Roman, just what she told Cindy after her husband was murdered. Roman has denied ever telling Cindy to buy a gun or congratulating her for taking out the trash when she killed Nissim. But here in court, the judge would not let the defense ask about those things, though she did allow questions about all those texts and calls.
You told Janepsi to stay close to him?
I asked her to maintain a communication that already existed there.
Well, the big issue, of course, was that DEA audio tape.
I knew what was going to happen.
This tape is the one in which she seems to confess.
But she's not confessing. She said that I shot that man in self-defense. I thought he was armed. It's not a confession.
Did he have a weapon on him when they found him?
Remember, the defense argued that Cindy was exaggerating wildly when she talked to the DEA's Frisky, embellishing to make herself look tough. But if you listen carefully, they said, you can hear one thing Cindy did say on that tape that was true. The one thing prosecutors ignored. 5 big words. I had to defend myself. Now that, said the defense, was true. Just like the 911 call was true. To all of which the prosecutors said, nonsense. That 911 call, that was all an act. And their proof of that was something Cindy said to DEA informant Frisky on his tape.
What does she say when she thinks no one's listening? I was really nervous, but I made it look authentic.
And the judge agreed with the prosecution, dismissed the 911 call, ruled it inadmissible, which was a very big problem for Cindy. And perhaps the reason that in her trial, she chose not to take the witness stand.
We couldn't let her do it because we saw that we were not being treated fairly in the rulings.
In his closing, defense attorney Nathan Diamond insisted that Cindy was within her rights when she shot Nissim.
The shots are being pulled off in rapid fire, consistent with the fear of the attack that was being placed on Janepsi in her home.
So now, the big wait. 1 day, 2 days, On the third day, jurors said they were deadlocked. The judge